Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the PlotCast. I'm your host, Nate Slater.
And I'm Chris Sambrook, and today we're going to be reviewing Send Help.
That's right, Sam Raimi is at it again, this time with a horror thriller called Send Help, which is a little bit different because normally he likes to just go full on horror. If you look at his back catalog, obviously he didn't do that with Spider-Man or Doctor Strange because those are superhero movies. Even though Doctor Strange,
Oh, well, there
kind
was,
of tread a
yeah.
little bit on it.
Yeah.
But but this movie was actually I felt it was rather tame for him. I
Well, he
I
didn't write it, so that's part of it, I'm sure. Um, this was more a fun little project, and I think he had fun with it. Just from general viewer experience, it felt like the cast, they just had a lot of fun with it. They just ran with it.
Yeah, I will say as far as his film tricks and stuff go, he didn't use a lot of his usual film tactics that he normally does in his other movies too. I did notice that. So it was it was different. I'm not saying it's bad different. It was just I was expecting golden old Sam Raimi and instead we got a little bit more refined Sam Raimi
It
in
was
this
just
one.
fewer and further between his extremely obstructive close-ups, like, at the
Yeah.
beginning,
'Cause he likes
and
doing a lot of close-ups and then a lot of, push away shots. So,
yeah,
is you saw some of those in here, but they weren't as often as they usually are in the movies that he normally does on his own.
that and he used significantly less fake blood in this movie.
Even though they did have a good amount, which the beginning of the movie, I didn't think that that was gonna
Going to be
happen.
a thing,
Yeah,
yeah.
based off of the setting, the original setting. But before we go any further, spoiler warning. So, initially coming out of the theater, I still wasn't sure what to give it, but as of right now, before we've had time to really talk and digest this after having a conversation, I'm gonna go with a 7. I do not feel like it's anything too crazy good or out there. I felt like I said, this movie felt very tame for him. So I'm gonna go with a 7 as of right now. What's your
Um,
initial?
so I came out enjoying it. Now, for those that don't know, it's one of those horror movies that people go to watch to laugh at the horror scenes. It's very campy. That is
Mhm.
his style. It's always been kind of a thing. So when I left, I was very happy with it. Um, and I just had fun watching it. So my initial impression is giving it an 8.
Which is kind of a twist because usually I'm the one given the higher grades,
Yeah.
which is
Well,
kind of
I
funny.
will always give points to creativity and fun in a
Yeah.
movie.
I will say, yes, the movie was very fun. I did laugh. The whole audience laughed at certain parts. Some parts you were supposed to laugh, then other parts, I think it was just because people were just blindsided with the weirdness, you know,
Yeah.
of what was
Well,
going
that's
on.
one of the great things about him as a director is he likes to have weird, awkward, natural reactions to certain things. And let's face it, especially when it comes to horror movies, these aren't things people typically react to normally. It's not something that people normally experience. So him getting the awkward in there instead of the cool, suave, I'm getting out of the way and grabbing a gun and shooting that monster kind of thing. He likes to do the whole, "Oh, I slipped, I fumbled, I ate a ton of blood."
I mean, he does like to have make it more like a realized or a real life kinda situation 'cause usually people are not gonna be, on their like, on their game in certain situations, so people are
Yeah.
gonna fumble, and he's very good at, trying to get normal, natural reactions, so
He I
I
I
will
feel
say
like
that's
he's the
good.
kind of director that doesn't tell the actor when the fake blood squib is gonna go off.
It's like, "Surprise!"
Yeah, he tells them, "Oh, it's gonna go off, like, 7 seconds after you say this line, and then 3
That's
seconds
2.
before they say it."
Yeah. So wait, you said, "But I got the reaction I needed."
Exactly.
Sometimes you gotta lie to your cast. just to get that reaction. But the movie starts off in a normal hustle bustle city setting. Rachel McAdams plays kind of like this awkward character called Linda Little, and she seems very nice. Uh, like I said, awkward is the best word I could give her.
She
Uh,
is definitely socially inept.
yes,
She does not pick up on social cues that other people very awkwardly and insistently give her. Instead, she tries to over impress on people that she's just not all there. Everyone finds her awkward, is visibly giving her the stop, shut up, and move on
yeah,
look, and she never picks up on it. Which, we all know those people.
yeah.
Um, and it's nice to see that character in a main role, sure, but it does give you that secondhand awkwardness when you watch it,
Yeah, she
especially the way that Sam Raimi likes to film with his close-ups.
and like we said, he likes to make things seem more realistic as far as situations go. So her character, she worked in planning and strategy department. I guess that quirkiness of her kind of works for her job title. I mean, she was gonna be vice president or whatever, and she didn't get it. And that kind of starts this whole I hate my new boss. She hopes that she's gonna get the job by continually doing what she's been doing based off of what her boss, Bradley Preston, has told her, which obviously we know that's a lie. He's just using it to get
Yeah.
the report done that he needs to get the
Yeah, they're
sale
going
or
through some
whatever.
kind of merger, and he just needs her to get a lot of the work done for it before they just cut her loose.
Yeah.
However, I will say that as far as character development goes, you would assume, based on both the trailers and just generally watching the movie, that it is her character that's over embellished, but I don't feel that. I feel like she is pretty grounded. I mean, Rachel McAdams is a great actress. She's done
Yes.
many great things. Honestly, I don't think there's a role she can't play, but she brings a reality to someone who is way over the top. I will say, though, that her boss
Hmm.
is like overly cruel, like
Yes.
to a point where it's not believable. Like he's constantly disgusted by everything she does. At some points, it's understandable.
Yes.
Other points, it's unnecessary and unwarranted.
Yeah.
So honestly, I feel like she was definitely the shining star as far as acting goes, and she was definitely the more believable of the characters, even
Yeah.
though she is over the top.
Yeah, I felt like throughout what she was trying to do from what I thought, because they could have left at almost any time the island, and I thought what she was trying to do is get it to where he becomes a better person and actually gives her the job opportunity she was promised, which is what I assumed early on, which was going on. And then as you see them being around each other more and more, sometimes kind of understanding each other and whatnot, you start to see that she is kind of crazy actually. And,
Yes.
not saying that he's not crazy either. They're both equal, almost as equally as crazy. And it's just weird how
Yeah.
like the dynamic I figured out for me, I'm like, oh, they're gonna play her as a nice person and he's the bad guy, but then he's gonna be the good guy and she's gonna be the bad guy. It was kind of that, but not
Yeah.
that.
It
They were
it
both
really
equally bad
yeah.
and good at the same
It
time.
definitely hit a certain marker when she kills his fiancée.
Yes.
That's when she becomes the psycho killer.
Yeah.
And while he is a bad person, legally, he never does anything bad.
Yeah. I
I mean,
mean,
yes, he does attempt to kill her at some point, but that's closer to the end as the climax is driven. And you
and
could argue it's more for survival.
and she's also poisoned him as well.
Yes. Yeah,
So,
exactly. Um,
and the biggest part is that she knew all along that there was a way off the island, so she was playing him the whole time.
yes, exactly. So she is definitely um psycho. She
Yes.
is insane in that aspect. He is more of a
spoiled
Just
brat.
just a horrible person. We do learn he's a spoiled brat who didn't have his parents' attention growing up,
Yeah,
and sure, I guess it's an excuse. It feels like an overplayed one, but
yeah.
it's an excuse nonetheless. Um, uh,
It's a bad excuse because there's people
it's
who
yeah,
have gone through that and have become great
exactly.
people.
I mean, as character development goes, when people get placed in situations like that, it's you either become a survivor or a victim.
Yeah.
His character development is a victim mentality. You know, I deserve everything because of what I went through instead of I'm going to strive to be better because I'm a survivor. She obviously hit that survivor mentality.
Especially because she
Uh,
wanted to be on Survivor.
yes, she did. There's a strong plug for the show for sure. Um, and yeah, no, she really plays into it well. It's almost eerie how she knows all the different animals and all the things about them, like the octopus that
Yeah,
she feeds him, and knowing how much to feed him and what it almost feels planned that she was
yeah,
planning for them to go down there.
yeah.
um I will say that the plane crash scene was fun.
Yes.
Just to throw that in there, because unlike most plane crash scenes where people just get thrown out the plane all of a sudden, it's very typical. They
Yeah,
like to do that a lot, mainly down to budget. I'm
yeah.
pretty sure because of the CGI involved. Sam Raimi just like over the top. He's like, not only are they gonna struggle to stay in, when they finally get out, they're gonna be hanging outside, and she's just gonna boop, push that window shade down. Yep, nope, nope,
Yep.
nope.
"Help me." No, yeah, yeah, okay, I'll help you, bye."
Yeah,
And it was just
it's
funny how he was just he was just stuck there.
yep.
Bam, bam, bam,
After she was
bam.
kicking his teeth in and everything, and it just it was it's one of those again, Sam Raimi likes the awkward and he likes to push things too far, and I love it.
Yeah, Sam Raimi was very much a fan of the Marx Brothers and all those kinda old-time gag comedy routines from back in the day.
Yeah,
So, it's prevalent in almost every movie he does now. Really, they started adding a lot of that with Evil Dead 2, and then it continued on from there, but this movie is not short of any of that. They add that a lot. Like I said, a lot of people were laughing in my theater, sometimes not
yeah,
at the
same.
appropriate moment, but
Yeah, exactly. That this is less thriller horror as it is horror comedy.
Yeah.
Um, there's plenty of laughs. I mean, that's why I gave it such a high rating. I didn't go in there expecting a horror movie or expecting to be terrified. I mean, he could do that, but when it came to just going out there and giving us something fun, he went there too.
Yeah.
He's got it under his belt. I mean, he's got the experience, the reputation, uh people expect a certain style from him, and he doesn't fail to deliver. Now, yes, it's not as consistent as his other movies. It is a lot more tame, but I think for the general moviegoer, this is far less cult movie and
Yeah.
easier for the general audience to consume.
Yeah, I felt this
Um,
was like I said, this was very kind of like a safe kinda movie,
yeah, for
in
him.
my opinion. For him,
Yeah.
yeah, because he's
Anyone
not
else doing this and people would have mocked them.
aside from the Spider-Man trilogy, those were kind of his only kinda different
I mean, he also did Xena, Warrior
Warrior
Princess,
Princess,
and some
Hercules.
Hercules stuff, and
Yeah.
which honestly I feel like is more of a paycheck and getting into kind of the business.
Yeah.
Um, but he's done well for himself. And as far as this movie is concerned, it was fun, in my opinion, from start to finish. While yes, having plenty of awkward, I went in expecting it, so I didn't feel awkward watching it. I could see how people who aren't familiar with his style not liking it, which each to their own. Overall, it was a fun movie, plenty of Easter eggs. Those that don't
Yes.
know, Bruce Campbell is in almost every single one of his movies. He was in all the Spider-Man movies as a different person each one. He was in Multiverse of Madness and many others. Even if it's a small cameo like the end of Darkman, which he
Yeah.
is doing Darkman 2.
Well, Darkman 2 is already out, but that, the
Well,
remake or whatever it is.
his
Yeah.
Darkman 2.
He was in
But
Congo.
yes,
That has nothing to do with Sam Raimi, but he was in Congo. He died at the
yeah.
beginning of that movie. Spoiler alert, again.
But, yes, Bruce Campbell did make somewhat a cameo in this one too as the deceased father of the boss in question.
And I didn't know that.
No, I caught a glimpse of the portrait behind him in his office, and I was like, "Oh, man, that looked a whole lot like Bruce Campbell." Uh, I was hoping they would show it right away, and they didn't. I think I waited like 2, 3 more scenes before I got to see it again. Ah, yeah, there he is.
And I missed it. I was because I thought that would have been the person, but I didn't see it. I missed it. I guess I was too entrapped with the whole movie to even, like, pinpoint that poster, photo, whatever it is. Portrait, there we go. But, like, thank you. Thank you for letting me
Yeah,
know, because Bruce is the man. If you don't know who Bruce Campbell is, what are you guys
he's on your
doing?
shirt. Yeah.
He is on my shirt. Here he is. Well, let me move it. There we go. Here he is. If chins could kill, his would.
Yeah.
So, wha I mean, like we said, this was more of a safe movie for him. Like I said, for me, there wasn't a lot of his touches as far as camera work and, you know, what he normally does cinematically, but the few things that I noticed, the one thing that everybody laughed at and got disgusted with, which I was like, "Oh, that's so Sam Raimi," was when she throws up on his
Oh, into
body.
his mouth and
Yeah,
yeah,
when yeah, he's trying to
such a
save his
Sam
life,
Raimi move.
and then she's giving him mouth to mouth to bring him back, and then she's puking on him too, and everyone's like, "Oh, man."
And he's just looking up at her disgusted as he's coming
Yeah.
back to consciousness.
He's
Oh,
like,
yeah,
"Oh,
that's so
why?
much
Just leave me
fun.
dead." And
Yeah.
there was that, and then they had, like, a jump scare with, like, a zombie-looking face, like, they added that in, and actually, that zombie-looking face, when I saw it, you know who that looked like to me?
The witch.
No, I thought it looked like Bad Ash from Army of Darkness.
Oh, yeah, that's
It
yeah,
kinda
I
looked
mean, it's
like
kind
that.
of yeah, in that vein. Yeah, I mean, obviously, he likes to have that witch, from the Evil Dead kinda pop up in his movies. Um, the witch character, which in a sense is kind of what it was. Um, but yes, he had a lot of his fun little especially when it came to blood squirts.
Yes.
The boar, the earliest of those scenes, hunting the boar, her getting a mouthful, and then a faceful, and then another mouthful, just nonstop, only to cut to the severed, disgusting boar head landing on the
Yeah.
ground.
He is definitely that person to be like, "Blood. More blood. More blood. We need more
Not
blood."
enough blood.
We need more. I mean, like I said, this was more tame. There was only a few points with that happening, and the other part, which was disturbing, I'm sure, for all men in the audience,
Yeah,
is when
yeah.
she threatens to cut off her boss's manhood, and I thought she was actually doing it, and
Yeah, I definitely got the sense that she wasn't. That it just didn't feel right if she would do it even as a crazy person. So I assumed that she had like a piece of the boar or something that she was cutting into as the blood squirts. But it was a rat. Either way, it was definitely the scene was sold by the actor who plays the boss, who's um, was supposed to be
paralyzed.
um, paralyzed due to the toxins of the blue ringed octopus. And just his visual, because obviously for him it was all visual, he couldn't
Yeah.
feel anything, and he couldn't look down all the way, so he wouldn't have known for sure. But the way he winced, the way that he reacted, just general facial expressions spoke a lot.
Yeah, I was like, "Yo," and then I was like, "No, come on, man." But it was a rat. It was a rat, and all the guys probably just had a giant sigh of relief at that point, like, "Oh, thank God," because it
Yeah,
makes you
everyone's
wonder.
legs unclenched and
Yes.
oh, let's just
Uh,
adjust here.
like, even the women in the audience were like, "Oh my God," you know? So it like I think Sam Raimi knew if he would have done that, he would have gone too far. But I
Yeah,
did like how by the end of the movie, they're both kind of psycho at this point. I mean, really, she's a psycho, which is weird because you want to root for her at the beginning, then towards the end, you're like, did she really kill her husband? Because in a
yeah.
sense, you know, she didn't based off of the story, but then again, she's been lying this whole time, so we don't really know how the story really went.
Right,
Uh,
exactly. She's an untrustworthy storyteller. That much we know by the end. So what is true, what is embellished in her story about how her husband died is up to the audience member.
yeah,
It doesn't even matter because when we see what happens with the fiance and the rescue worker, and then, of course, when she takes on her boss at the end, too, it is obvious that she's deranged, especially after the actual end of the movie, because she shows zero remorse.
yeah,
If
and
anything, she thrived off of it.
and that whole fight at the end there, that was brutal. Like, she stabs him, he almost gouges
Rips a
her
chunk
eye
of her
out.
hair out. Yeah, he almost.
Yeah, I was like and at the end, he was in pure survival mode. He was saying whatever he could, and, like, I'm like, "That's I wouldn't believe him." And she actually was starting to believe him, then she put 2 and 2 together. She's like, "Wait, something's off here." He grabbed the horn, and he was ready to kill her. He got the shotgun, and I had a feeling that shotgun was not loaded.
Yeah,
And my
same, same.
it came to fruition, it was not.
Yeah, I mean,
Uh,
as far as general plot goes, it is relatively uh predictable.
yeah,
But that's not why you watch a Sam Raimi movie.
and that's not.
Although a lot of his movies aren't really that predictable. I guess it's predictable knowing him and his
Yeah,
style. Like Drag Me to Hell, when I watched that, I did not think it was going to end the way that it did. But then looking back, I go, well, of course it had to end that way. There's no other way that Sam Raimi can around. He can't think of a happy ending. There's no
yeah,
such thing to him.
which is true, like, even some of the happy endings he has given people in their movies, they're not necessarily the happiest. We'll put it
Right.
that
That's his style. And when you know that, you kind of can predict just about anything that he's going to do. The only thing that, kind of falls outside of that are major projects like the MCU, which although he did kill off Doctor Strange right at the beginning,
Yeah, he did.
technically.
Everybody dies.
Yeah.
No one
Uh,
lives.
but yeah, so but for the most part, when it's a solo project or something that he's doing for fun, you can kind of predict that it's not going to have your typical happy ending. It's definitely no dodgeball ending, the happiest of happy.
Yeah, which, originally that was supposed to have just the bad guys win, and nobody liked
Yeah,
that, so yeah, we had to get
so
the
they
the
went
good ending.
over the top. But yeah, it was fun. Plenty of cameos, plenty of fun little tidbits here and there for the over the top fans like us. And then there's plenty for the average moviegoer who doesn't know anything about him.
Yes.
It's just a fun movie. It's not your typical horror. There was some good trailers too for upcoming horror movies, so I'm sure we will be reviewing those when we eventually get to those.
Yes.
I feel like this might be the year of horror movies, and I say that not with anything generally looming overhead and expectant, but I have a feeling that big budget movies are either going to be hitting streaming or just not doing as well this
Yeah.
year. I don't know why. It's just a feeling. It's the beginning of the year. Plenty can change. But I feel like horror movies have a lot more creativity behind them. And I feel like moviegoers are tired of the same old, same old.
Yes. I mean, the craziest horror movie that's gonna come out this year, in my mind, is Jackass 5.
Yeah.
Because it's always scary what those guys do to themselves, so,
Yeah.
I I'm looking forward to that. Even though
Speaking of
Bam
crazy.
Yeah, even though Bam will be in it, but it's gonna be just all old footage that he shot for other movies and shows and stuff that didn't make it into the last one, so but, After us talking, I am safely gonna stay at 7. I feel like he did play it safe, and I don't see any reason to go even higher in my opinion for or even lower. Like, I feel like it was a happy medium for him. It wasn't a risky move for him, this movie. And I think the actors did well. Everything was pretty much really good and crazy and awesome and funny and scary and tense, but I feel it was too safe. So I'm gonna give it a 7.
It definitely was safer than what he typically does, and I know that he's got more Evil Dead movies coming up, which I am looking forward to.
We all are.
But I will still give it an 8 just based on the general feeling I had leaving the theaters, being happy with what I had watched, which I have not had a whole lot of lately.
Yeah. Which is like I said, it's crazy. For once, I have the lower number.
Yep.
Chris has the high ground on this one. So, there you have it, folks. That's a review of
Send help. It wasn't anything too crazy, but it was definitely a fun time. I enjoyed the movie. I definitely know that the other moviegoers in the theater. This was a packed theater for me. I don't know about you, which I haven't had the pleasure of having a lot of lately.
it was
So
actually, like, halfway full. I saw it
yeah,
at, like, 9:45 at night, so you would think
I
it
saw
would
it
be
at
packed,
7.
but
The early we're getting older, man. We
yeah,
go early. The babysitters aren't gonna stick around that long.
that's true.
But no, it was fun. Everyone had fun. No one was too obnoxious in the theater. Um, and yeah, I feel like while this won't be record setting and won't, it will probably be forgotten about in a year or two. I definitely think it's just another positive strike on Rachel McAdams' acting list. I am more so just really amped about more Evil Dead coming
Yes,
soon.
we get a new movie, and then they're already working on another one after that. Hopefully, we'll get to the point where we can have all the Evil Dead universes collide into one kind of big, crazy MCU type of horror
Yeah,
madness
this
movie.
is definitely what's happening. There's no doubt about it, especially if you watch the Ash versus the Evil Dead. I feel like so much is going to come together. Honestly, I'm surprised that they were allowed to make that TV show with how relatively good the CGI was. It was creative but also quirky. So yeah, this isn't going to turn into an Evil Dead review, I promise. We are done. Send help. Check it out if you're a fan for sure. Check it out if you enjoy comedy and horror mixes, or just want to enjoy something different than the usual Hollywood slop that we've been getting. Uh, Otherwise, yeah, I am sticking with my 8 out of 10. But that is a personal preference. I understand most people will not follow that same kind of review structure that I have. But yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah, but I mean, that's why we're here. We're here to give you our honest reviews based off of how what we like, and we hope you guys like it too. And if you guys are like us, you might agree with us, and if you're not like us, well, fuck us, right?
Yeah, tell us in the comments. Give us
Yeah,
something mean.
yeah,
I
you
haven't
guys are
read anything
wrong.
really mean in a long time. Please, I want to hear it.
Oh, I have. But I'm the one who keeps up with that kind of stuff. So there you have it, folks. This has been another exciting, horrific episode of the Plotcast. So, like Chris was saying, folks, leave a comment down below. Let us know your thoughts. This is just our opinion. Also, if you guys aren't following us already, what are you doing with your lives? Follow us, leave a like. It helps us out, helps us get out there so we can keep doing more crazy stuff like this. And that's it. We're at the end of the line, folks. I'm your host, Nate Slater.
And I'm Chris Sandbrook, and we'll catch you in the
In the
void.
void.